My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vastu Creations. Today we're going to look at the chart for Greta Thornberg, political activist, environmental activist. There's no time for her birth given, but we did a rectification. So if you look to the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the constellation associated with Virgo rising at 14 degrees. First, we'll see how the planets are operating in her chart and when they're operating in her chart, and what could be done to strengthen the chart. So first off, for Virgo, Sun, Saturn, and Mars are challenging because they rule the Dustana houses, the 6th, 8th, and the 12th. So Sun rules the 12th house of imprisonment, and she's been imprisoned several times. It afflicts, the Sun is placed in the house of happiness and home life, and it afflicts the moon. The moon is representing, it is ruling her income and fulfillment of desires house, and the house of that has to do with helping society and collective consciousness. But afflicting the moon and the mind has to do with Asperger's and autism, have to do with afflictions of the mind. And the 4th house has to do with the environment and global climate activism. And the 12th house has to do with traveling. She's constantly traveling and had many arrests. Then we have a week afflicted by Sun, Moon. Again, Asperger's, higher purpose for the planet, ruling that 11th house. Then we have challenging Mars, ruling the 8th house, giving her the ability of passion for scientific research on climate change. Then we have weak infant Mercury, gives her Mercury sitting in the 5th house of children's causes and creativity. It is functional malefic, or excuse me, it is in infant state. So weak Mercury also has to do with intellect and Asperger's and autism, gives her a critical nature, which aligns with her focused activism and attention to scientific detail and controversial speech. Gets criticized a lot for her speech. Now, strong Jupiter gives her influence over environmental concerns. Weak infant Venus, communication and speech issues, which are part of Asperger's. Challenging Sun. She faces a lot of criticism, but she's very determined. Challenging Rahu and Ketu, they afflict the 9th house of government issues, the 5th house of intellect, and children's causes, and Ketu afflicts the 3rd house of communication, which has to do with Asperger's, and the 7th house of relationships. She, has trouble socially communicating. All that said, she's channeled this amazing energy into helping the planet and being a catalyst for all kinds of protests. In 2011 to 13, she had depression over climate change. And she was diagnosed in 2014 with Asperger's. So the depression was during a sun period, sun ruling the house of depression. Asperger's was diagnosed also in a sun period, uh, giving her difficulties, and then she channeled all that energy in 2018 into school strikes um, that gave her. It was a moon period, gave her a lot of fulfillment of desires, uh, and then in 2019 she inspired millions to come out and do climate protests. Um, this was during a Venus period, which gave her a lot of fame. She was actually, she gave a talk at the UN on climate change and was voted the most, by Time Magazine, the most inspiring woman of the year. 2022 to 23, she got arrested a lot during Sun period, Sun ruling the house of imprisonment. Uh, in 2025, she was arrested twice by the Israelis for being part of the flotilla that was helping the Palestinians. If you look to the chart on the left, the transit chart, you can see when she was arrested or detained by Israelis and tortured during a Moon Mercury period, and K2, let's see, Moon Mercury. K2 was afflicting the 12th house of imprisonment, also afflicting Venus there. Um, and then she was released a few days later during a moon period. Um, what could be done to strengthen the chart? Well, she's doing a lot of charity work, community work that would be that would be giving good graces to Sun, Mars, and Saturn, as well as Rahu and Ketu. The rest of the planets could be strengthened with my favorite remedy, a kavash containing the Devata yantras and mantras for her benefic planets. If you'd like to get a kavash or get a reading, you can go to vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening. It's very inspiring.